have that knowledge, now you create the opportunity. You share that knowledge with people, they have a choice. And when we bring all of these things together, when we're unifying health, when we're unifying business, when we're unifying all of our lives, bringing all of these things together creates the great business, the great opportunity that all of us have. So this is me. So this way we have actual physical proof that I'm crazy. This is validation of an A-type personality gone mad. So this is me in the Long Island Marathon back in 1994, where I was second place in that marathon. In a 2:36 there. And yeah, like Doug said, if 1 mile is good, what about 2? If 2 is good, what about 4? If 4 is good, what about 8? 8 is good, 16. You know, that's the way we roll. But I got that wake-up call. I found out that my heart age was 59. Yikes. That was really, really scary. And running for me was so important because that's how I relieve stress. To go out and go for a long run. Some people think it's horrible. For me, it was unbelievable. So to hear that, you're going to have to cut that out. You're going to have to cut back on it. You're going to have to start weightlifting. I hate weightlifting. I could not. I hate it. But hey, Doug gave me the information. He said, "Yeah, you can do that. You can." Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. If you guys see me walking around like this, it's all Doug's fault. So now we all have that opportunity to find out. I mean, some of the shocking things that I learned about heart disease. Did you guys know that it's the #1 killer in the world?
Yes.
#1 killer. Unbelievable. This was the one that really shocked me. Was the lipid profiles. Mm-hmm. Y'all know about cholesterol, right? Mm-hmm. We all hear about cholesterol. The American Heart Association tells you that 50% of the people with a first-time cardiac event, have normal lipid profiles. What the hell is it telling you then? Not very much. So cholesterol isn't the whole story. So we have to keep getting educated about the whole story, about all of the things that go into being heart healthy and having your body be healthy. We know that an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So what did I do? I religiously use the Max products in our Flex program. It is fantastic, so that I would get in better shape. Mm-hmm. For real. Not in the shape that I thought was good by running all these miles, but in really getting in better health. I adjusted my diet, cut out all the sugar. Oh my God. You know how hard it was to take sugar out of coffee? I was like, you know? Oh my gosh. And then, the wine there's nothing better than one glass of wine turns into 2 after a long, stressful day of, I want you guys to understand something. Do you ever get calls from like 40 Nigerians? Screaming? This is what it sounds like. You are completely incompetent. Stress levels go, bottle of wine comes. I mean, it's going on all night on WhatsApp. You are an idiot. How can you be so bad? So that's where it was tough to say, only 1 glass of wine. Only 1. No sugar in your coffee and less running. More weightlifting. Hey. So we have to do that if we want to be healthy. And I lowered my heart age by 7 years in a couple of months. But this program works. I wanted to put it to the test. What happens if I take my switch every day? What happens if I use my B-bars? What happens if I make sure I take my Cellgevity, my Infuse, my ATP? I was religious about it. Absolutely religious. You know what happened? I lost 18 pounds. 18 pounds in 3 months. Running less. and that's how my heart age went down. Our products work. They really, really work. But Doug and the science team said, you know, Joe, we can add to this great array of products. We can add to this. Remember, we got to take a step back. It's got to be high quality.
For sure.
Quality critical, right? You guys know about that BSCG certification, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because our stuff is pure.
Yeah.
People say, what's the difference? Our bioavailable. We can tell you it's bioavailable. We got great science. We got great manufacturing. We've got the best ingredients. This stuff is fantastic. And that's what creates our great business opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, today, we're adding to the family. Are you ready?
Oh, yes!
Max,
Yes!
3, 5, 7. Arctic Cod Omega Blend.
Oh my God. Oh
Premium product. It's a unique Omega Blend 3, 5,
Wow.
and 7.
Wow.
Endorsed by the Garda Heart Foundation. Dr. Harrington was instrumental in looking at our product and making sure that we have what our customers need. No omega-6, we get too much.
That's true.
Premium benefits
This is so important.
and a premium source, which you guys are going to hear about today. Now, do you have the video? Want to see a video?
Yeah.
Just remember something.
Deep in the crisp Arctic waters of Norway are elements essential for our health, found in their purest form. Our body requires these elements for good health. These nutrients are known as essential fatty acids, commonly referred to as omega oils. Max International was drawn to these pristine waters in our search for the highest quality ingredients we could find to harness the proven health benefits of these essential fatty acids. Our goal was to develop a premium oil blend rich in omegas that would be unmatched in its benefits. Max 357 is that proprietary blend, a unique formula of not just one but 3 omega oils. This unique combination works together to maximize the benefits for the cardiovascular system, supports brain function, helps stabilize blood sugar levels, aids digestion, and helps reduce discomfort from exercise and physical exertion. Omega fatty acids have been shown to provide benefits for the skin, hair, and nails, as well as protection against cellular damage to the brain, eye, and nerve cells from oxidation. The omega-3 oil in Max 357 is sourced from pure Norwegian cod oil. These pristine Arctic waters provide a clean and superior source. Our omega-3 is sustainably harvested by a family-owned fishery that has fished Arctic cod from these Norwegian waters for generations. We harvest the whole fish in our omega oil, creating a more sustainable product that is better for you. We've combined our cod oil with black raspberry seed oil, a complementary fatty acid that has been shown to support the immune system. Plus, it is a natural source of vitamin E. Max 357 also contains omega-5. The omega-5 oil in Max's 357 is sourced from pomegranate seed oil. Pomegranates are widely known for their high antioxidant levels. Studies suggest the omega oil from these seeds is uniquely suited to protect the digestive tract. Finally, our omega-7 comes from fresh pollock fish oil. It has researched benefits for insulin sensitivity, anti-aging benefits for the skin, hair, and nails, as well as for cardiovascular health. In today's busy world, where quality is often sacrificed for convenience, these essential fatty acids have been replaced by unhealthy saturated fats, sugars, and preservatives in our diets. Reclaim these important elements with the special combined blend of omega oils in Max 357. Support your body and mind with this complementary combination of omega-rich oils that provide provides your body the resources it requires to function at optimal levels. Max 357, your special blend for health, for focus, for life. Add Max 357 as part of your daily routine today. Max 357 Arctic Cod Omega Blend, your special blend for life.
Wow!
That's the mystery. And we solved that mystery.
Wow.
There it is. Now, you know, talk about product quality, right? So important where we source this. That's one of the huge differentiators. And I want you all to join me in welcoming to our Max family a company called Pharma Marine, who sources all of the fish where the oil comes from. And from all the way from Norway. They've come all the way from Norway to greet you. Wow. Please welcome to the stage Leif Lendemshore.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Max, to invite myself and my daughter to attend your event here in Salt Lake City. And it's an honor for us to be a partner with Max International. So I will give you more information about Pharma Marine and also about the Arctic Cod Oil that are the major ingredient in Max 357. So is the PowerPoint ready? You probably soon coming. You said that you are not a technology company, so that's okay. We are only an omega-3 company. I pushed the button. Okay, here we go. So, my name is Leif Kjetil Gjendemsjø. I know it's a difficult name, Joe, to pronounce. It's a Norwegian name, and I've already met some of your people here that actually can speak a little bit Norwegian. So, cod marine is a unique, sustainable and traceable omega-3 ingredient from MSC-certified wild-caught Arctic cod. And I will tell you more about cod marine and where it comes from. Pharma Marine is a company that we established in 2007. My family have traditions back to 1949 when my father started as a fisherman. And Pharma Marine is a third factory that we have built in the omega-3 industry. We are located on the west coast of Norway, nearby a city called Ålesund, which is the capital of fisheries in Norway. And Norway, we have a lot of fisheries, and the cod fisheries in Norway is the most important cod fishery in the world. We are located on an island, so you can see in the circle here, we have the factory. This is an island called Terøy on the west coast of Norway. And we are very proud of the country with all the islands and the fjords and the mountains. And it's important for us is the fisheries that we have along the coast. And as I said, we have been manufacturing fish oils since 1988. And Pharma Marine is probably the most eco-friendly and modern omega-3 factory ever built. We have very long traditions in Norway. Going back to the Vikings were fishing cod, they were drying the cod, and they also were making cod oil. And cod oil was one of the most important goods for the Vikings to trade when they were traveling around in Europe. And cod oil has been used to improve health for hundreds of years. We can go back to 1600, where the English doctors used cod oil to prevent rickets and also to treat joint health. I will come back to more of the health benefits also about EPA and DHA and cod marine and Arctic cod that are used in Max 357. But cod oil was also used for other applications like lamp oil, making soap, and also waterproofing clothes. So for the fishermen back then, For them, they did not have the typical rain clothes we have today. They were using cod oil, put that on the clothes to make the clothes waterproof. They did not smell so very good. It was helping the fishermen to stay dry. We also like to say that cod marine is grandma's answer to tender love and care. And why is that? I think that most of you remember grandmother came with a spoon of cod oil and said you should take it because it's good for you, it will improve your health. But not only that, when she got the cod in our family, she did not only take the fillet, she took the cod head, she made the cod tongue, she took the cod cheeks, and all the leftovers she used to dry, and it was used as snacks or for the pets. So we say that our Arctic cod is grandma's answer to tender love and care.
Yes.
My family, the Jensen family, we have been in the fishing industry since 1949. My father, as you can see here in the middle of the picture, together with my 3 kids, visiting one of the fjords in Norway. This is a little bit more than a year ago. He started as a fisherman in 1949. And he built his first fishing boat, which was one of the most modern purse liners in Norway at that time. That was in 1965. In the 70s, he started his first fish processing plant. He always wanted to utilize what we harvest and also make sure that we are using everything from what we harvest. The first business was salting herring, making herring fillets, and that was also where I started to learn about fish and fish processing. Cod has always been important for the family. I was too young in the 70s, early 70s, so he told me how to utilize the cod head. So my first business was actually to make cod tongues. And cod tongues, I were cutting a lot of heads and we're selling the cod tongues to family, friends and neighbors. So we all, the whole family, had to work together to build up the family business. In the 80s, me and my father were talking about what can we do with all the trimmings. And we started to look into make fish protein and fish oil. And in 1988, we started our first fish oil company to refine fish oils, cod liver oils, to make premium quality omega-3 products. Cod marine, we have been working with that product for a long time. And helping the Norwegian fishermen really to utilize 100% from what we harvest from the industry. As we say in our family, harvest what you need and utilize all you harvest. And you now in Max International are helping Norwegian fishermen really to utilize 100% of what they harvest, and I will come back to that.
Wow.
So what is cod marine and Arctic cod? Arctic cod is produced from northeast Arctic saithe, haddock and cod. And it's wild caught, and we are fishing it along the Norwegian coast and also north of Norway up in the Barents Sea. Today we have a cod marine fleet which counts of 6 boats. The fish is caught on the ocean by trawl, is taken on board a boat. They are making fillet, freezing the cod, collect all the trimmings, and from the trimmings making high quality cod oil and protein. This is very unique. I don't think there are any other company that have a fleet of 6 boats producing oil and everything is processed within 6 hours.
Nice.
Wow. That is very cool.
Another thing which is also very important is to have sustainable fisheries. And Norwegian cod fisheries are MSC certified. And MSC is the golden standard of certification. Only 10% of the world fisheries are MSC certified. So the Arctic cod you have in Max 357 is really, really a unique product. In addition, the product is very traceable and transparent. If you visit codmarine.com, you will get more information about cod marine and Arctic cod oil. There you can get information about health effects, but also you can go and trace each single boat. So if you go in on the web page, you find the cod marine fleet, you can track the vessel. Then you can see where the boat is fishing exactly now. Goddess Neptune is one of the 6 boats that we are working on. By going visiting codmarine.com and you go under traceability, you can have a virtual trip or tour on the boat. So you can maneuver in the boat, you can visit the bridge, you can go through the whole boat where you see the trawl and down to the factory. Again, we are transparent. You can tell your customers where your products are coming from, where the oil is coming from, and it's also coming from a sustainable source. I would say that Arctic cod and cod marine is the most traceable omega-3 ingredient that you can find. When you go and visit our web page, you can go and trace the boat. So what happens, you will get up a picture like this. The next picture, you can see where the boat is fishing exactly now. Also, one of the boats called Ramoen, they have a web camera and they take a new picture every 30 minutes. Again, we want you, your customers, and the consumers to know where the products are coming from. So the oil is processed on board the boat. When the boat comes ashore, we go and collect the oil, bring it to our factory, we do the refining to make a premium quality EPA DHA product, which is higher on DHA than EPA. The oil is shipped here to Salt Lake City, to Steve Hatchett and Elevate. They make the capsules and do the bottling. This is what we call a traceable omega-3 product. Cod marine is great for our planet. And as we say that, it's very important that we get our product from wild-caught fish. And I really support also what Dr. Harrington said, that really look for wild-caught fish. You need your EPA and DHA. We also say that cod marine is great for our health. And we all need EPA DHA. We need EPA DHA for cardiovascular health. We need it for eye health, for the brain health, to help to stabilize a normal blood pressure, normal triglyceride level, joint health. I will say that probably EPA DHA is the most important nutrients that we can get. When we're talking about omega-3 and omega-6 balance, that's maybe the most important thing we can talk about. Because if you don't have a right balance between omega-3 and omega-6, that can also cause inflammation that again cause a lot of diseases. When we say that cod marine is great for future generations, because it's very important that your product comes from a sustainable source, that you can tell your customers that the product is a sustainable caught, wild-caught cod or cod from Norwegian waters that are certified sustainable by MSC. That is helping to safeguard that also the future generation gets their EPA and DHA. So, thank you very much, and look forward to working with you guys.
Wanted to acknowledge his daughter who came all the way from Norway, Iselin. It is a real family business. And the sustainability, the accountability is just outstanding. It makes us feel great to be partnered with such a tremendous company, and that's what is going to allow us to have such a phenomenal impact in the omega-3, omega-5, and omega-7 market. You guys impressed with that?
Very.
Now I want to call up to the stage, so we have a complete story on some more science behind the product. I'd like to call Steve Borsberg from our manufacturer at Elevate.
Thank you for that welcome, even if it was for Steve. I'm Scott. Steve's right here, so we're good. I'm actually a little conflicted. I'm, on the one hand, incredibly intimidated. I'm following Dr. Harrington, who has created a test that arguably can change the lives of millions of people and the face of public health as we know it in the United States. And then I'm following the creator of a world-class fishery, which probably puts out the purest, most traceable, most sustainable omega oil in the world. And I'm a microbiologist from Utah. So, on the other hand, it's not often that I get the undivided attention of a couple hundred people, so I guess you're stuck with me for 15 minutes or so. All right, let's see. So, one of the things that I think people don't really realize about these fatty acids is that they're not just a source. Hey, I'm not doing that. There we go. They're not just a source of fat. Everybody knows the three kinds of major nutrients out there, right? You got fat, protein, carbohydrate. And we're talking about the fat part. And don't let that scare you. Everyone's a little fat phobic in the United States. We've been taught to be fat phobic, as a matter of fact. I remember growing up that everyone would say, hey, why don't you lay off that butter, or stop eating all that stuff with fat in it and have some of these nice potatoes or some of this white bread, right? That was the way we were taught when we were kids. We understand now just how damaging and how destructive that was. But fats play a role in our body other than just to provide calories or even to provide fats themselves. They actually function in our cells with very specialized roles. Not only do the fats incorporate into your cell membrane and provide part of the structure for the cells, but they also ensure the proper functioning of other things, like proteins, which are used as signaling molecules. They help regulate inflammation. You need a certain amount of inflammation, by the way. I know we all like to take anti-inflammatories when we have some pain or we've been exercising and we don't feel quite so hot. We take these anti-inflammatories, they call them. So again, we get scared of inflammation, but you need some inflammation. Inflammation is how your body knows that it's time to repair something, or that it's time to protect itself from invaders like bacteria. So inflammation is important, and fatty acids, they regulate that. They make sure it doesn't get too high or too low. They also modulate the activity of other enzymes, which are things that, create energy, for example. And without the right fatty acids, your body can't create energy. They also regulate gene expression, which Dr. Harrington talked about a little bit. It may not work as a diagnostic tool, but it's really important for what things your body decides to do and how it decides to grow and to protect itself. So one of the things that we've all heard as kind of a common theme about why nutritional supplements aren't necessarily that good an idea, or why they're a waste of money, is because they're just not studied nearly as well as drugs and pharmaceuticals, right? I mean, drug companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars developing these drugs. They've got to be a lot better and a lot better understood. Well, this is a comparison of some of the most common drugs out there, the number of studies that have been done on them, and the studies that have been done on fish oils. So if you just take a look there at the blue bar, EPA and DHA, compared with things like, which is the medication that's used for heartburn, Prevacid and those kinds of things that people know about. Vitamin E, Valium, metformin, the most common diabetes medication. Folic acid, which is used in prenatal vitamins. Calcium, vitamin A, ibuprofen, which is also called Motrin, or vitamin M for those of you that use it a lot. It has a huge number of studies, more than many, many, many medications. So the science behind the product that's in Max 357 is world class. There is no doubt about it. You can stand behind it and say, we've tried. This is better studied than most of the medications that are on the market today. Okay? These are some of the things that it has been studied for. It's obviously good for the brain. It's been studied for memory and cognition. It's good for the heart, and we're going to talk about this more, like Dr. Harrington already did, but just in a little more detail with regards to fish oil. And it's been studied hugely in helping with pregnancy and also in infant development. Now, as Dr. Harrington pointed out when he was talking about the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, Americans are hugely deficient in, I don't know why this keeps going in that direction, sorry about that, hugely deficient in omega-3s. All right, who has one of these? Whoever it is, stand up, it's been funny, but... my finger is not on the button. Let's see if it stays there. All right. So we're hugely omega-3 deficient. That's simply because we don't eat the right kinds of foods. That's all there is to it, and we eat all the wrong kinds of foods. Americans eat a lot of what they call hidden fats. Hidden fats are fats that are added to a product to change the way that it tastes or the way that it feels. So you're getting all of this fat that's been highly refined, highly processed. It's added to a food, but it's not really part of the food. It was never intended to be there in the first place. And invariably, those fats are all the ones that were on Dr. Harrington's list down there at the bottom as being not so good for you, right? Cottonseed oil, soybean oil, corn oil. They're cheap. That's one of the reasons why they're in there. It's because they're inexpensive. And the other reason is because they're really shelf stable at room temperature. You don't have to worry about those fats going bad nearly as quickly. Well, the reason they don't go bad nearly as quickly is because they're just simply not as biologically important. The ones that are, they get used up faster, right? So things that tend to not be as shelf stable, like a piece of white bread, it won't go bad nearly as fast as a piece of nice, fresh, whole grain bread. That's because there's just not as much there. There's not as much for bacteria to eat. There's not as much for you to eat. There's not as much for oxygen to get involved in. So all of those hidden fats are the ones that we're eating, and all of those are the ones that are making us have these terrible problems with diabetes and heart disease and everything else. Just some statistics to add the ones you've already seen. It's just another way of looking at that same picture. 63,000 Americans died prematurely from not having enough omega-3s in their diet.
10% battery.
All right. That equates to about $6.1 billion. It really loves that slide, doesn't it? And there's nothing on it. Did you notice that's the blank one? All right. Anyway, you can look at this later. We're going to move on. We're going to look at some other stuff. So here are some recommendations from different authoritative bodies on how much omega-3s you should be having in your diet. And you'll notice that there's some general agreement here. Right around 250 milligrams of omega-3s a day. That's sufficient for general health, just for the general population. That's what most of the authoritative scientific bodies in the world have said. So if you take 2 capsules of Max omega-357, you're going to get that 250 milligrams a day. What it tells you on the label is take 2 twice a day. You take 2 twice a day, morning and evenings, probably a good way to do it. You're going to get 500 milligrams a day, which is what most scientific agreement says is sufficient for normal cardiovascular health. Now, if you're at high risk, you're going to want to take more. Dr. Harrington can tell you about that. You'll need to take probably more for a period of time to get it under control. But the product that you take daily, each and every day, as a maintenance product, arguably for the rest of your life, is about that 500 milligrams a day. And that's going to give you superior protection for life. Okay? So, in addition to the omega-3s that we talked about, which have all those wonderful benefits, there are a couple of other things that we've put in here. So why did we put this stuff in? Why didn't we just stop with fish oil? Well, how many of you would think that just eating fish for the rest of your life was a healthy way to live? No? I don't think so either. I mean, it's great. I love fish. I lived in Japan for 3 years, and we had fish every single day, pretty much every meal, and it was great. But that's not all you eat. You also eat vegetables, and you eat fruits, and you eat all of these other things, right? So all of those things, too, have a certain amount of fat in them. They have a certain amount of lipids in them. Those lipids are important for things, not just for heart health, but for all sorts of things in your body. And more importantly, those lipids contain nutrients that are fat soluble that are included in that portion of the plant or the animal. So, when you eat fat that's not highly refined, and this is really important, you're getting all of the stuff that the plant itself, in its biological wisdom, has included with that fat, which are important nutrients to maintain not only the quality of the fat itself, but also functions within the organism that are related to that fat. So a lot of the fat-soluble vitamins and phytonutrients and other things that you're getting in there, they complement the way these fatty acids work. Number one, they protect them. They're superior free radical scavengers for fats themselves. And number two, a lot of those things can get into places in the body where some of the water-soluble stuff doesn't have as easy time getting there. You need both. And that was also in Dr. Harrington's presentation. He talked about how people on a low-fat diet, they're not able to get enough vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, because those things just aren't present in a low-fat or non-fat product. So we've included in there, in addition to fish oil, some of the world's best and most potent botanical oils. One of those is black raspberry seed oil. High in omega-3s, just like fish oil, but very rich in antioxidants. And in particular, it has these things called tocopherols and tocotrienols. Does anybody know the formal name for vitamin E out here? Okay, it's called D-alpha tocopherol. That's the natural form of vitamin E, which is present here. But there's all sorts of other tocopherols too. There's alpha, there's beta, there's gamma, there's delta, there's, it goes on and on and on, right? You need all of those, actually. Just getting one isn't enough. And this has a rich source of all of those things that I call the vitamin E family, because it's a whole family. Its cousin is called a tocotrienol, and between the tocopherols and the tocotrienols, there's at least 300 that we've identified so far, and there's probably more. So a rich, complex source of the natural vitamin E family. Black raspberry is one of the very best out there in the plant kingdom. Those in combination with each other are superior free radical scavengers. They'll help to reduce your free radical burden, and it serves to protect the oil that's in the capsule as well. So it actually preserves the fish oil and the other oils that are in there, makes it more stable, and gives a superior product. The things that it can support in your own body, in addition to cardiovascular health, there's some interesting studies on immune support from black raspberry oil. Also studies on maintaining that healthy inflammation that we talked about, keeping you in that sweet spot. Not too high, not too low. Moist, young-looking skin. Who doesn't want that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pomegranate seed oil, another superior botanical oil with lots of accessory phytonutrients. In this case, pomegranate oil is rich in something called carotenoids. Carotenoids, like they sound like, carrots. They're orange, red, and yellow colored phytonutrients. Really great antioxidants, very good at protecting you from UV radiation, like you get from the sun. It is the best source of a unique fatty acid called omega-5. That omega-5 fatty acid, also sometimes called punicic acid, has benefits to it that you can't easily get from a lot of the other fatty acids. Particularly, it's been shown to be really useful in protecting your digestive tract. So that endothelium that we heard Dr. Harrington talk about, I keep saying his name over and over, you can tell I'm a little bit of a fan. That endothelium, it's not just lining your arteries, it's also lining your digestive tract. Same kind of tissue, same kind of cells, just as important. In fact, the endothelium in your gut produces all sorts of things. It may produce more serotonin than your brain, they're coming to find out. That endothelium also produces a lot of the nitric oxide that you end up having in your system, which is responsible for maintaining a good cardiovascular system. Just like the endothelium in your arteries produce nitric oxide, so does the endothelium in your gut. Okay? And punicic acid is really, really good for maintaining the health of that digestive tract, those endothelial cells in there. So it can support also some cognitive and memory function, heart health, joint health, in addition to the digestive health we just talked about. And there are some interesting studies on blood pressure too. So let's talk about pollock fish oil. You heard a lot about cod oil from Leif. Pollock fish oil from Alaska is also very interesting. One of the most interesting things about it is that it's a great source of yet another hard-to-acquire fatty acid called omega-7. It's almost 50% omega-7, as a matter of fact. Omega-7, they're starting to realize, is one of those kind of undiscovered, not yet really on the radar oils or fatty acids that may actually be really, really important, not only for heart health, digestive health, but for metabolism. This is one of the really interesting things about omega-7s. So omega-7s help with insulin sensitivity. That was one of the things we talked about a lot here in some of the other presentations, is how your body deals with blood sugar. And fats and sugar, they're really connected in the body. They're connected through the liver. You have too much sugar or too much excess that your muscles can't store, it goes to the liver, and it ends up as triglycerides and fats, right? So omega-7 seems to play a role in how our body treats carbohydrates, whether or not it decides to convert them into triglycerides, and more importantly, it may also play a role in metabolism. It functions as something called a lipokine, which is a hormone-like substance that tells your body, you know what? I'm done. I've had enough. You don't have to eat anymore. That bag of chips over there, it's okay. You can leave it alone. I'm good, right? That signal that you get that tells you it's okay to leave it alone, that comes from the right kind of fat.
Yeah.
So if you don't get enough fat in your diet, you're going to be hungry all the time.
Yeah.
You will. You just won't feel good. Your body won't tell you that it's okay to stop because it needs something it's not getting. And that's the big kind of secret, the thing that all of us who grew up under the healthy choice, low fat, no fat, fat-free era weren't taught and didn't get, is that if you don't get fat, your body will crave food to the point where you won't be able to control your appetite and control the way you eat. Omega-7 also has really good benefits for skin, hair, and nails. A lot of interesting studies on that. And so what we see here is we see an overall picture of how different fats work in different parts of the body to create wellness, to create the optimal way for your body to grow, to repair, to maintain itself, to perform and do all of the things that you want to be able to do, and to be the person that you always thought you could be. I remember reading a biography of James Michener, the novelist, and he had an interesting quote in there. He said, the biggest generation gap is the generation gap between the person that we were when we were young and the person that we are today. Right? All of us would love to be the person we thought we were going to be when we were 19, 20 years old. And with varying degrees of success, some of us have gotten closer to that than others. But wellness is the way that you can achieve that. Wellness is the way that you get closest to that person that you were and that person that you thought you'd be. And that's what Max 357 is all about. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Wow.